What's up, fam?
What's going on?
What's
up, Ken?
Ken? Good, dude. Eric, how you doing, buddy?
You, man.
Man, good to see you
so
as well,
good.
my friend.
Get to hang out with you. Get to soak up some of the wisdom. So many nuggets you dropped last time we got to hang out and spend some time. So I'm
people are like, dude, you've got a lot of wisdom. I said, dude, I made a lot of mistakes.
Right? It goes hand in hand. That's it.
I made a lot of mistakes in 53. That was 53 years. Now it's 54 years.
So, man, but you've been on fire this past year, so I'm sure the wisdom's, it's like drinking out of fire hose, right?
Yeah, it's been crazy, dude. It's been amazing. Yeah, it's been amazing.
Good. Your event recently, I heard, was pretty epic.
Yeah, it was. It was insane. Yeah, it was. Dude, I pinch myself every morning I get up, dude. It's like, it's crazy. I'm so blown away at what God's doing right now, man. It's the people. The relationships. I mean, dude, I'm in a really good spot, dude. And I'm grateful to be with you guys. Love you guys.
For sure.
It was good seeing Eric. I don't think I saw you at GrowthCon. Were you there?
Nope. No, okay. Man. I relocated back to Northern California, so I'm in San Jose with my family. I bounced back and forth and prioritizing trips, right? So on the snooze side, we got a lot happening. So
I know you did,
which has been good.
Yeah, so I shot a couple things. I shot a couple things for my boy over here. A couple videos. Got to hang out with Matt and them for a little bit. Yeah, so I know you guys are blowing it up. Yeah, I'm just excited to be here, man.
Making it happen, man. No, and you talk about just how grateful you are and how fortunate you feel. But none of this happens by accident, right? I mean, you've been keeping your head down, hustling, and knowing how to work a room and make strategic connections for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And it's paying off, right?
3 years this week. This week is our third year anniversary. We started 3 years ago. Literally, the pandemic hit. Yeah, pandemic hit, and we were going to do a conference in Atlanta in May of 2020. And I just became a Cardone licensee. We didn't even call it Growth Stack Drive. That was the name of my conference. Our conference was going to be Growth Stack Drive. And then we were like, pandemic hit. We're like, okay, we can't do a conference. Now what are we going to do? We're like, let's do an online coaching program. We're like, okay. And so we're 3 years, we're 3 years into it, man. Building relationships and incremental, not monumental, small daily discipline decisions over time. Always, always, always equal monumental results. Success can't escape you when you do the right things every day, man. I'm telling you.
That's it, man.
It's not rocket science. It's just not. Because I'm not the sharpest guy. I'm not the best looking guy. I'm not the most talented guy. I mean, Matt's all those things. I'm just not. I'm not all those things.
Well, you are disciplined though, and you're committed, right?
You better fucking believe I am. That's right.
Yeah.
So I tell people, listen, you may have things, but you're not going to outwork me. I will show up every single day. Yeah.
There you go. Well, speaking of that, man, you're looking good. You're looking lean. You still making it happen on the daily there as well?
I'm on day 10 of keto. I got to drop these last 25 pounds. I'm down 82. I think I'm down 82. Wow. I'm probably down 82 now. I was down to about 83, 84. And then I put probably 10 pounds on. You know how it is, dude. You go to Vegas and you go here and you go there, and the wine and the steaks and the mashed potatoes and bread and dessert. And I'll only have one bite, and you always eat 3. You know how it goes. So,
well, I think, I mean, part of the fruits of your labor is, having opportunities to break bread with folks, right? And and the quality of those dinners escalate, right?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. I'm still waiting for Matt to pick the check up, though.
Yeah, well, you'll be the blue kid in the corner. Hold your breath.
No, it's fun. It's fun too. We were talking about where was I? We was in Puerto Rico for my mastermind the week before last, and and I already most of the dinners are prepaid, but like I stayed with the team, and then we had several couples stay. We had there was 15, 20 of us that stayed 2 extra days to hang out. You're in Puerto Rico. Why not hang out in Puerto Rico? Right. And it's funny just watching Brent, Jeff, me, all the guys trying to get the check before the other guy can get the check. Yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun.
It's a great story I read from Jerry Seinfeld. You know what he does? And you may have heard this. I think it's brilliant. when he knows he always talks about it, there's an awkward moment when you're going to go have dinner with somebody, right? Especially if they're both successful and who's going to pick up the tab, all that kind of stuff. When he makes a dinner reservation, he picks the restaurant, he calls ahead, he gives them their credit card, bill never comes. Talk about a gangster move, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I just remove all
I
the
haven't heard that,
awkwardness
but
out of
that's
it,
great.
right?
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Right.
There was a bunch of us. We had a whole crew that went last year to GrowthCon, and we all went to Morton's to eat dinner. And Brent and Kathy got there, I don't know, 40 minutes early. They got there a little early before reservations. And Brent had already given the girl his credit card before we even got to sit down at the table.
Yeah.
So she was like, I was like, hey, here's my card. Give me that bill.
Yeah.
He's like, he gave me his credit card 45 minutes before you guys even got here. And I'm like,
right. That's classic. Those are those things you get to learn as you level up, right? You get to see what the next level of thoughtfulness and intention looks like, right? From people who use those same techniques to attract that type of, squad, so to speak. So yeah, man, no, I'll tell you, we got so many really great speakers that are bringing in, but I was excited to reconnect with you, man, because, there were so many things that resonated last time when you're up on stage. I think about community. I think about, I think about your connection. What is it? It's community.
Circle and corner.
Circle corner. Yep. Community circle corner. And then obviously, hey, accountability, once done right, should feel like encouragement, right? You have this language, and I'm so fascinated with language because language influences beliefs, and beliefs influence behaviors, and the behaviors become contagious, right? So
I'm gonna have to write that down. Are we recording this? Because I want that. That's good.
Right?
Oh, he drops heat.
Oh, did Matthew make it?
What's up? Hey, so there's just chaos. Like, we live in chaos. We got this thing that's not working and all kinds of stuff happening. But what's up, y'all?
What's up, boy? Man, Eric's over here dropping bombs, bro.
Oh, I heard it. Eric, I get to live with this guy every day. He just dropped bombs all day long.
I'm like, man, I don't have time to write that down. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Love it.
No, it's but back to the point, right? I really appreciated your ability to articulate things, create clarity, so people can, adopt those same mindsets, because that's really how you lead transformation and the work that you do. And there's no doubt that you have success because you can clearly articulate what it looks like. And when you can tell people what it looks like, then they can act on it. So that's why I was really excited to reconnect with you, man.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's
for sure.
My pastor always says, put cookies on the bottom shelf. I don't know how many of you guys are cookies on the bottom shelf person. I'm a cookies on the bottom shelf. And you got to make it easy for me. You go over my head quick. Like, I have no idea what you just said.
That's it. No, I love it. So, all right, Jacob, we ready to kick this thing off now that Matt showed up?
Yeah. I think we're ready to go.
Let's go. I'm on my phone.
Cool.
This Zoom doesn't work. Let's go, baby.
Yeah. All right. Well, here we go. Hey, first of all, yes, my name is Eric Thompson, aka ET. Matt and I have been rolling together for some years now. We've known each other for over 20. When we were younger, we cut our teeth in the home furnishing industry. We kind of came up together. Matt was really smart and recognized very early that he's going to take that money that he was making and invest it in real estate. And I I went after that corporate money and moved up the corporate ladder. So as our kind of roads, took different paths, I eventually went into becoming an executive coach in Silicon Valley. Did a lot of organizational development, worked in schools around social and emotional healing. Have worked with, folks like Houston Rockets, Beast Mode, Marshawn Lynch, Major League Baseball, a number of different organizations, the big four organizations that you guys know here in the Bay Area, and schools across the country, actually in 18 different countries. Worked with the Desmond Tutu Foundation in South Africa in a way to stifle sexual abuse from teachers to students. Have done a thing or two, very fortunate to be in the position I am, but my road brought me back to Matt because of his really dynamic, charismatic energy, his eternal optimism, his ability to bring the right people together and to activate something, wake something up in people that very few have that ability to. And so, one, being Matt's right hand, excited to be here today, excited about what we're putting together. You briefly get to see Jacob on the computer. You get to see Gabe running things in the back. But today really is about celebrating the wisdom that is Ken Joslin, just giving you a window into the brilliance that he's accumulated over his life. And nobody articulates better from the stage than this gentleman. We've had proximity in the past. Matt and Ken have worked together in the past, and we're fortunate to have him back in our ecosystem for this next evolution of Undercover Billionaire Bootcamp / Wake Up / Growth. What are we calling it, Jacob? Give me the official term.
This is the Rapid Growth Summit, so you could get your rapid growth ready for
Rapid Growth Summit.
That's
Rapid
right.
Growth Summit. There you go. I love it. Yeah, so that's who I am. And with that, Matt's not a person that's going to brag about himself. He doesn't really need any introduction. Matt Smith is the person Grant Cardone travels across the country to hang out with 90 days. That's the power of Matt Smith. And so, Matt, excited to have you. I know you're running around all day today, but tell us what's good, man. Is he muted?
There you go. It said
You got unmuted.
Let me unmute, so I had to shut me up here. I get it. Let's go, Ken Joslin. What's up, y'all? Kathy down from Pueblo. Let's go, everybody. We're doing a new podcast thing, so excuse all this and the spines in my office and just drills. Like, I'm not handy. But I did learn that you can't get on the Zoom and on the Google Meets at the same time. Your camera doesn't do both. So that's what took me a little while. Ha! But anyway, Matt Smith, Undercover Billionaire. Yeah, season 2 went with RJ yesterday, but blessed to be on this ride with these amazing people here. We, Grant Cardone was dropped off in this little community of Pueblo, Colorado. We started this business called Wake Up Pueblo. I am a mattress guy by trade. As ET said, we have been in the business together, and we are in the business to change the industry of franchising and, more importantly, sleep and overall health of the humans in the world of America and outside of America throughout the world. So we're on a mission to scale snooze mattress all over the country. Wake Up in 10X is just a near and dear to my heart. We are who we are because a lot of the stuff in the relationship, somebody like Ken Joslin, man, I wish I could have made it to your event 2 weeks ago. The first time I've been sick in my life. And I told him, I'm like, I'm the clutch guy. You tell me 2 days before, I'll try to pull it off, but not this one, man. But Ken, you've been a hero of mine since I've known you, man. You're doing some special things and just a dear friend. I met with Dr. Rob Kelly today. He had a lot of amazing things.
My man.
Gary, too. That guy's special.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Just special.
That's
but
good.
This community, I just keep learning, gets better and better as we get in different rooms and right people. But people like you and I just keep sticking together as we go in there, and we're getting IVs in Vegas and meeting different people and leveling up throughout, and just blessed to know you guys, blessed to know, ET, Jacob, all the people that are doing what we do out here. The legend, Josiah, who just is a master of everything. But yeah, so, I mean, that's it. I mean, we're doing a mastermind with the goal and intentions to have a smaller, intimate setting where we can truly, from health and wellness to business to marketing and everything in between, to be just better humans, but more well-rounded in life. And then somebody like Ken, who is just one of the most well-rounded humans, that his faith, his health, his good looks, everything just matches all at one. We're going to have people like that. They're going to change the world here. So, and ET as well. So anyway, that's me. Let's go, baby. I can't wait to hear you today, baby.
No, yeah. Well, I want to introduce Ken and then hand over the mic to Ken and let him talk a little bit about relationships. But really, Ken is a highly accomplished leadership development expert. He's got a unique journey. We talked a little bit about his spiritual background that began as a pastor in some of the largest churches and programs in the U.S. Now, obviously, he's moved away from the traditional sense of ministry. He has continued to serve and empower others through coaching and mentorship. With a focus on entrepreneurship and leadership, Ken has spent the last few years teaching and sharing his expertise with fellow entrepreneurs, helping them grow their teams, increase their productivity, and take back their time. That's legit stuff right there. Ken has also demonstrated his success in the real estate industry, having sold over $250 million worth of properties. He's also really here. The reason we love Ken so much, he's all about helping us all level up, by helping us build confidence, gain clarity, and create community. Bring in the heat. Bring it in. There you are, Mr. Ken Joslin. Let's give it up.
Let's go, Ken.
What's up, fam? Can you guys hear me good? Give me a thumbs up.
We can hear you, man.
Hey, let me say this. Dude, I love Matt Smith. Before Matt got on just a minute ago, ET was kind of asking me, dude, tell me what's going on. I see, this last year is, you've taken it to another level. Josh actually is part of my mastermind. He was in Puerto Rico. We were just on a Zoom call. I'm like, dude, you know Matt Smith? He goes, I know who he is. I said, dude, you need to come jump on a Zoom call with me. And so Matt's in here. Matt is a financial guy, does trusts and a bunch of, if you got a lot of money, you need to talk to Matt. I mean, you need to talk to Josh. He's the guy. But I just, I shared this at our mastermind in Puerto Rico. I shared a little bit about this, on my stage at Create. We had John Maxwell, Ed Milet, Randy Garn, Anthony Trutz, Carlos Reyes, Marie Cosgrove, my good friend Vic Keller, who sold 11 companies to Warren Buffett for an undisclosed amount that was about $8 billion. He's a pretty successful dude. Vic came and hung out with us for 3 days, 3.5, 4 days in Puerto Rico. And I literally do. I pinch myself every single day when I get out of bed. And it is because I get to spend time with guys like Matt, ET, the people, a lot of the guys I just mentioned, guys like Josh. And people ask me all the time, how do you get around? How do you spend time with the people at the level that you get to spend time with? I mean, who has a billionaire that flies down and spends 3.5 days at your mastermind, and we have, 2 or 3 dozen people there, and he takes time out of his calendar to come down and spend time with me? I literally text me. I said, John Mingo, he texted me this morning. He goes, dude, I ain't talked to you in 2 days, man. What's going on? Hell, you don't ever go 2 days without calling me. And I'm like, well, my Facebook ad account got hacked. And so I've been locked in trying to get it back. But people are like, Ken, how do you get around some of the people? Grant's been a great friend and a mentor for 3 years now, a little bit over 3 years. And, how do you get around the Sharon Lecters and the Greg Reed's got his secret knot going on next week. Greg calls me on the phone 3 or 4 days ago. Says, dude, I'd love to have you out here, man. If you can come, he said, he emailed me 2 VIP tickets. Here's 2 VIP. Just come hang out. Just come spend time. Like I'm literally blown away. And people say, how do you do it? And this is probably the one thing that's in my heart right now more than any other thing. How do you get around the people? Great leaders want something for people, not from people. And I think when you're a leader and you understand that you want something for them, not from them, do people want to be around you? I'll go back. I'll talk a little bit about my story with Vic. Josh heard a little bit about this because I shared a little bit about it in Puerto Rico. When I met Vic, one of my really good friends, Nate, who worked for John Maxwell for about I worked for John for about 15 years, but I've known Nate for over 20 now. And he got me connected. He's a CMO at one of Vic's companies. I'm on a FaceTime with him one day, and Vic walks by. They're about to have their board meeting at one of the companies that Vic owns now. If you're a hunter and you've heard of Christensen Arms, that's one of the companies Vic owns now. Cantoni Furniture, he just bought 3 months ago for $292 million. I mean, this guy buys and sells companies from 200 million to $1 billion about 3 or 4 times a year. He's just constantly buying and selling companies like crazy. And Vic walks by and he goes, "Is that Ken?" And Vic and Nate goes, yeah. He goes, "Let me talk to him real quick." So he just grabs the phone. I'm like, "What's up, dude?" And we get to talking. He goes, "I want some time with you this week." I said, "Yes, sir." So we scheduled a 15-minute Zoom call, guys, or a 15-minute phone call. And that 15-minute phone call turned into an hour and 27-minute phone call. And towards the end of the phone call with Vic, I realized really quick, just like I did with Matt, just like I have with a lot of guys, like when I meet somebody that has that same spirit, the same DNA I do, number one, it's rare, which is why you guys are here and why you're connected with ET and with Matt the way you are, is because they really do live a life of servant leadership. It's really, are they successful? Yes. Are they doing great things? Yes. But there's just something different about them. There's something that you're drawn to what they're doing because they want something for you, not from you. Because every single one of us, how many of you guys have ever been around a leader that wants something from you and not for you? Like, in the space we're in, when you get around in certain places, like there's a big win, and that lead, that whoever that person is, they're going to get the big win and you're going to get the little win every single time. But when you get around people who really want something for you, not from you, it's different. Like, because everything that they do, and I'm going to give you 3 things. I'm going to give you 3 things twice. I don't even know how much time I have, but I'm going to give you 3 things twice. Number one is servant leadership. I mentioned that. one of the most proud moments of my life. My oldest daughter's 27 now. She's been married for 2 years. I'm taking my son-in-law to go watch the NCAA tournament tomorrow. It's actually in Birmingham. So I bought tickets for us to go see the basketball tournament tomorrow night. My daughter was in her second year of college here in Birmingham, and she was working at Chick-fil-A, and she sent me a picture of she literally just got promoted. She was the front end kitchen manager. She sends me this picture. She goes, Dad, look. And she sent me a picture, in Chick-fil-A, because Chick-fil-A is amazing no matter where you go. Their culture is unbelievable. Where they slide like the tater tots and the chicken nuggets and the stuff down in that little stainless steel thing in between the kitchen and the front of the restaurant. On that written in Sharpie marker were 3 characteristics of a servant leader. Number 1, they put other people's needs before their own. Number 2, they do things without being asked. And number 3, they do things right the first time. And those are 3 things from my daughter when she started in kindergarten. Back when I owned my mortgage company, I used to take her to school and I used to pick them up. Almost all 4 of my daughters, they're 27 all the way down to 15. Almost their whole lives, I picked them up and dropped them off at school and then picked them up at the end of the day. Every day before I dropped them off, starting at kindergarten, all the way to where they graduated. Hey, baby, what are the 3 characteristics of a servant leader? And Holly, since she was in kindergarten, Daddy, servant leaders put other people's needs before their own. Servant leaders do things right the first time, and servant leaders do things without being asked. I'm like, okay, baby, I'll see you this afternoon. When I picked them up in the afternoon, they were ready to tell me how they were a servant leader that day. Daddy, I let Jacob go in front of me in the water line. Daddy, I took the trash out in Miss Smith's class, and she didn't ask me. They would always give me examples. And what happened was Holly sent me that picture that day. I get emotional thinking about it. She sent me that picture that day, and I'm like, dude, you got to tell me the story. She said, Dad, I gotten promoted so many times inside the Chick-fil-A. The owner operator who started the first couple, 2 or 3 Chick-fil-A's in Birmingham, Alabama, came to her, and he was like, how in the world are you getting these people to work so well? Like, we've got great culture, but man, your teams are always crushing it, and you're getting promoted. She said, my dad started teaching me 3 characteristics of a servant leader when I was in kindergarten. And he was like, what are they? And she told him, and he goes, I want you to write that right here in the front of the restaurant where everybody who works here can see it. And so she wrote it down. And so, when you really do have a heart of a servant leader and you want something for people, not from people, dude, I'm going to tell you, it's attractional, especially in the world that we live in today. Like, people are starving for authentic leaders. It's why I love Matt and Jen the way I love Matt and Jen. It's why, like, dude, when I walk in and I see him at GrowthCon, it's like a brother I haven't seen in 6 months. It's like bro hugs, like bromance. Like, that's my guy. Why? Because he understands servant leadership, and he really does want something for people, not from people. And so in that, and I'm going to give you three things that I've done in my relationships over the past year. I've got a group text thread with six world changers on here. And I say 6. I'm talking about world changers. I got Brent Gove, who's one of the top guys at EXP. He has 29,000 agents, about 1.2 million a month in recurring revenue from his agents that he has in his organization. Gary Brecka, I know you guys know who Gary is. My man Brian Covey, who is the senior vice president of Revolution Mortgage. Randy Garn, who is a New York Times bestselling author. He's on the board with Tony Robbins. Vic Keller, my guy I just mentioned, and my best friend, Master Jeff, who lives in Calabasas. Forbes magazine did an article on him last year. They called him the Tony Robbins of Persia. He does huge events in overseas, 15, 20,000 people, in-person events. Unbelievable. The dude is unbelievable. And they're like, how did you get these guys in your life? 3 things. Last year, my word for 2022, my word for 2022 was really circled around relationships. And my word was intentionality. Like, I'm going to be intentional. And so I approached every one of these guys and I said, listen, I want to deepen our relationship. And what I'm going to do, I'm not asking you to do anything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring 3 things to the table in our relationship. And I promise you guys, you want time with Matt Smith, you want time with guys like these guys I just mentioned, you want time with me, you find somebody. And ET was talking about earlier, I talked last year at the Undercover Bootcamp about community circle corner, 3 spheres of influence. That corner, those 10 or 12 people you spend the most time with, that circle, those 3 to 5 people that know everything about you, like they're the guys, like even Josh and I were just calling. He's like, he's going to help me set a business trust up. And he's like, you can do this and this and this and this. I said, listen, send me the information, give me the pitch deck. What'd I tell you, Josh? I'm going to send it to Vic and I'm going to send it to Randy. And I'm going to let those guys, because those guys Vic's a billionaire, Randy's worth a couple $100 million. And I'm going to let these guys look at it and they'll be able to tell me, yes, no, you need to do this. You need to think about this. If you thought about it, because I don't know, I've never been there before. So in those relationships, in every one of those relationships, I committed 3 things to them. Number 1, my time. I said, I'm going to give you my time this year. Like I'm going to calendar time to spend time with you. I'm going to spend time with you. Like wherever you live, I'm coming to you. I've been to Salt Lake City to see Randy probably 4 times this year. As a matter of fact, we were just on the phone this morning. I'm going to go back in the next couple of weeks to go spend 3 or 4 days with him. My buddy Jeff lives in Calabasas. I was there 3 weeks ago for 7 or 8 days after Create, the week after Create, taking just some vacation time. And I take my vacation time with him. Brent and Kathy live in Puerto Rico. I was there for 7 days back in May. Gary Brecka, anytime Gary's anywhere around me, I go see him, or I'll fly down to Miami and spend some time with him and Sage. And Sage is also going to be here, right? Matt, say, I love that. She texted me and told me. So I'm super stoked about that. Brian Covey lives in Nashville. Dude, I go to Nashville. I'll speak to his team. I'm connected with Brian. Vic, I've been to Whitefish, Montana at his place. I've been to Dallas to spend time with him. And then who am I missing? I think it's all of them. And that's all 6 guys. Like I'm investing my time. Like I'm going to calendar time to go where you are so I can spend time with you. So if you've got some people that you want to deepen and you know there are people that are at the next level where you want to go, and you go in and you go, I'm going to give you my time. Second thing I'm going to give you is my talent. I'm going to give you my talent. And when I say talent, guys, this is what I mean. What can I do to add value to you to help your dreams and visions come to pass? What can I do? How can I do that for you? And not how can you help me do what I'm doing? Randy Garn, how can I help you? Gary Brecka, who do you need to know? Randy Garn, who do you need to? Randy's the most connected human being I've ever been around on the planet. He's probably the only guy I don't say, who do you need to know? But you know what? Randy just had Vic at their big, huge family office meeting with a bunch of other billionaires in Utah with Tony Robbins. And guess how Vic got connected with Randy? Through me. He got connected through me. Vic, in turn, just spent 3 days at Tony Robbins' house about 3 weeks ago with Tony and Sage at his house. He's sending me pictures and videos of him and Tony hanging out together, talking business, because Tony recognizes what he's done in business and the level he's at in business. So I'm a connector. Like, how can I connect you? Who do you need to know? How can I use my talent to help your dreams and what God's put in your heart this year come to pass? So time, talent. The third thing is treasure. How can I invest my resources in what you're doing? Matt's done events. He knows, man, I do. We just did our Create conference this year. We sold the place out. It was insane. Absolutely insane. Live band. I mean, it was John, Ed Milet. I mean, just Les Brown. I brought Les Brown in to do the CEO dinner on Thursday night, and nobody had a clue, with the exception of about 3 people, that I was bringing Les in to do dinner. Like, surprise, surprise, here's Les Brown, like one of the OGs when it comes to it. Les came in, spent 25 minutes with us at dinner, just sitting in his chair, just being Les Brown. We had a blast. Like, it was amazing. And so coming out of that, or coming into my conference, how many of you guys know my tickets are 10K, 5K, 1,500, and 400? I've got friends going, hey dude, can you give me a deal on your ticket? Hey dude, can I get a deal if I buy 2 tickets? Hey man, can I get a CEO ticket? Can you give me one for 5K? Like, listen, I don't do that with my guys. We were on a Zoom call. You said you were on a Zoom call with Dr. Rob today. I was on a Zoom call with Dr. Rob, Dr. T, Alok Trivedi. He's one of the top NLP guys out of Chicago, and Gary Brecka. The three of us are on a call. Dr. Rob, Gary Brecka, and Dr. T. I wanted to introduce all those guys together. I'm like, hey, y'all need to know each other. And then I get on the call, and what happens? Gary goes, I'm like, Gary, dude, are you speaking again at GrowthCon? He's like, dude, man, I'm speaking on Friday. I got 90 minutes. You know how Gary is. He's so damn fired up. He's about to come through the Zoom call, right? He's like, man, I'm speaking on Friday, man. Are you coming? And I'm like, what's the date on it? And I looked at the date, and I'm like, damn. And I'm like, yeah, I'm coming. I'll be there. I said, man, I wouldn't miss it for the world. I looked at my calendar. I had just bought front row tickets to go see Eric Church in Birmingham. Those cats cost me $1,000 a piece. And I love Eric Church. And I'm sitting on the front row right in front of his ass. And I had to sell my tickets. I think I sold my tickets for like $500 or $600 a piece. I couldn't even get what I had out of them. I picked up the phone. I called Jim Morales, and I said, Jimmy's the CFO for Grant. He was until a couple weeks ago. And I picked up the phone. I called Jimmy, and I said, hey, I think I got 10 grand on my account. Can I get a diamond ticket? And he said, sure. He said, I'll get you a diamond seat. So when Gary came out at GrowthCon, I'm sitting right there cheering him on when he comes down. So when I called Brent does his big build conference in Dallas, 4,400 people. Tony Robbins closed it out. The last day was Dean Graziosi, Gary Brecka. I got Gary and Brent connected. That's how Gary got to speak in front of 4,400. That's another relationship. I connected the two of those guys together. And then Gary spoke right before Tony Robbins. And Gary, I never forget, I was behind stage with Gary, and Gary's like, dude, I got to speak behind Tony Robbins. Oh my gosh, like Tony Robbins will come out here. People are going to forget what I say. I said, Gary, listen, dude, I've heard you speak so many times. There's 4,400 people out in this audience today. 4,000 of them have no idea who you are. You're going to walk out here and blow their ever-loving freaking mind. They're going to be like, what the hell did I just hear? Just like I have every time I hear Gary. And sure enough, Gary gets done. Gary gets done. He does his thing. Tony gets up. Tony's supposed to go 2 hours, an hour and a half. And I think he went almost 3 hours and 15 minutes. And just set the place on fire. All I heard about for the next 2 or 3 days was Gary Brecka. Oh my gosh, Gary Brecka. It was just on and on and on and on and on. Well, when I called Brent to talk to him about, hey, I want to deepen our relationship this year, and I'm willing to invest my time, talent, and treasure. I said, what's the website for your conference? He goes, build22.com. So I had him on the phone. I went straight to build22.com, and I went down and I bought the front row seat. I think it was $4,000. I said, I'm buying this front row seat right now. He goes, oh, you don't need to buy that. I mean, just get another one and I'll upgrade you. I said, no. I want to invest my time, talent, and treasure in you, in what you're doing. I'm not going to ask you for a discount. I'm not going to do it. And so I went right there and I bought the $4,000 seat and I sat in the front row. My best friend, Jeff, who's on my text thread. So sitting in the front row at Build 22 back in August, I think it was like August 19th, 20th, and 21st. Jeff's to my left, me, Gary Brecka, Sage. It was Brent and Kathy. It was Brent's event. And then to the left of him was Randy Garn, Dean Graziosi, and then the 2 billionaire Glens, Sanford and Stearns. And I'll never forget sitting on that row when Tony was speaking. And I looked at Gary and I looked at, and I've got four of my guys that are on my text thread. We're all sitting in the front row with me. Guys, I text every single day, and I have now for over a year. And I'm sitting there, and I remember looking at Jeff and I looked at Gary, and I went, dude, I do not belong on this row. Like, this row is insane. Like, it's a row I'm sitting on that 2 years ago, I never would have guessed I would have been sitting in. I never would have guessed, like, there's no way in the world I'll be sitting in a row like that. And then here I am in August, sitting in that row. Here I am, escorting Dean Graziosi and Randy when they get there. I met them at the car, took them behind stage, got them back there, got to see Tony Robbins, got to meet Tony, got to hang out with Gary and Sage and the team right before Gary came up. I got to do all that stuff. I mean, I get to hang out with some amazing human beings that literally are changing the world. They're changing the world. Like Gary Brecka is changing the freaking world with what he's doing. Sage last week. Where was I at last week? I was speaking for Amberly Lago at her big conference in Raleigh, North Carolina. Last week, I think I flew in on Thursday and had to speak on Friday. John Gordon, Catherine was there. She spoke. I mean, it was a big deal. And I'm speaking. I get a text from Sage on Thursday. I'm checking in my hotel room, and it's Sage's first big podcast she's ever been on. She goes, "Hey, would you listen to this, Ken, and let me know? Give me feedback." And I listened to the whole thing. I literally, as soon as I got back to my room Thursday night from dinner, we had a speakers dinner. I listened to it, and I'm sitting there. I doing no feedback. I'm like, "Girl, you crushed it. Like, you absolutely crushed it." Like, these people on this list that I'm telling you, they're changing the world. Like, who are you hanging out with that's changing the world? What do you need to do to get around people who are changing the freaking world? Like, people that they look at something like Matt. They're like, "Oh, this building, we're going to buy this building. Oh, we're going to take this building. Not only are we going to do this, we're going to call it Wake Up Pueblo, and we're going to host an event here. And we're going to work on this building. We're going to put 75 to 100 people in these seats, and we're going to change this damn city." Like, who are you spending time with, and how are you investing your time, talent, and treasure into their lives to help what they're doing become even easier? Because I'm telling you, when you do that, I don't care where you are in your faith. You can call it karma. I call it Galatians chapter 5. It's reaping what you sow. You start sowing into other people's lives that are further down the road with you than you. And I promise you, it will always, always, always get returned back in your life. Like, I'll never forget, I had a deal this year, and I had a contract with a guy. It was $85K, and I had paid him $22,500, and there was supposed to be like 4 payments of $21,250. And I get a call, and they're like, "Oh, hey, we need all of our money today by the end of the day, or we're not going to be able to speak because we've got another opportunity." I'm like, "Dude, I got a contract." They're like, "Sorry." I picked up the damn phone, and the first person I called, who am I going to call? I called Vic Keller. I'm like, "Dude, this is what happened." He goes, "That motherfucker." And I was like, I died, pardon my language. And he said, "That motherfucker." And I said, we got laughed a little bit. And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know what to do." And so what did Vic do? He offered, "Hey, dude, if you need the money, I'll send it to you. I'll wire it to you." Right? No. That's not what I want. I need you to help me process through what are some solutions that I can do. And we talked through solutions, and the next day I had it fixed, and I got it done. Why? Because I got on the phone with a guy who thinks bigger than I do. I got on the phone with a guy who cares about me. Like, those guys, every one of those guys on that text thread, they care about Ken. They don't care about what I do. They don't care about my stage. They don't care about what I've built. They don't care about those. They do care about those things, but they love me for me. And they care about what I'm doing because of the impact that we're making. But I'm telling you guys, if you will be a person who wants something for people, not from people, and you're willing to invest your time, talent, and treasure into people, I promise you, you can build relationships and spend some time with some people that are at the level of a Matt Smith or guys that I get to spend time with. That help you guys? ET, that good? Matt, that good? Good. Everybody's muted but me. I can't hear none of you guys. And I don't know how we get you unmuted, because I think
I tried to talk, like, just bring up stuff, and I'm just muted here. I don't like this stuff, man, but you're bringing the heat. I got to tell you, like, I just appreciate your thought on life and your friendship for sure. But I think it was funny because when Sage put that out the other day, 1.2 million views on TikTok, 1.2 million views on her first thing. She sent me that thing, and I was like, what? Like, good for her. But I want to, like, compliment truly the time, talent. I think back when you were saying that story, I think of Grant Cardone, who brought us together, who's brought a lot of people here together. And this was the part of the show that did not show on Undercover Billionaires. Grant Cardone comes into my office, and he's like, "All right, you do mattresses, you do all this stuff." He's like, "I want to help scale your mattresses." And I was like, "Well, what's in it for you?" And he goes, "Nothing. I don't want nothing. Like, let me just prove myself, and then we'll have a conversation about money."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, let's go. Like, hold my beer and let's go." And I truly believe that lesson in life was why I developed trust in such a short period of time. But the show was like, episode 1, you met him. Episode 2, you wrote him a $10,000 check. And I'm like, no, it didn't go like that. There was like 7 days of him grinding, passing out flyers, stopping traffic, and all of this before he even asked. And I thought the opposite. I'm like, okay, this guy wants money. What's he going to do? And he was like, no. let me just help you. Let me figure out how I can be value. And then we'll talk about what's in it for both of us. And I think it's so beautiful. I think of your events that you put on. People don't realize how hard it is to put on an event and the amount of energy that goes into that. And you're doing it to make other people better and yourself. 9 times out of 10, you're probably not making money out of this thing. You're bringing different contacts and you're helping other people grow as you help yourself. So that's servant leadership at its finest. And I just believe that God put you on this planet to change the world, and you are doing it every single day. And, everything you said, I took notes here, but time, talent, and treasure is things that anybody listening to this, and they're going to listen to this later and get to hear him. There's so much value in that, because so many people get out there and like, what's in it for me? I'm not going to help you unless you help me. But life is so much funner when you're just out helping people and all of a sudden you get help back. If you smile every day and you're just out thinking of what I could do for other people and how do I level up and get in the room is one thing, but helping each other out is what that room's for. If you just sit in the room, you ain't going to get anywhere, and life is funner when you're smiling and you're helping people. And no matter all the chaos that goes on, you're going to enjoy life a little bit more, man. You got a little stress, and less ulcers too. So I love you to death.
My favorite Zig Ziglar quote is, if you help enough people get what they want, eventually you'll get what you want. And Absolutely. It really is true. And it really is reaping what you sow. It really karma. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It really, really, really works. It really 100%. Works. So,
yeah. And I think I appreciate what you're saying. And I want to unpack that a little bit, because I think there's a really beautiful lesson in here, Ken. And Matt, you can attest to this too, right? I mean, once you hit a certain level, most of these people, right, they fight for this. It wasn't given to them. They are chipping away at this for a number of years, right? Those incremental increasements, right? Monumental growth that Ken talks so much about. That's the life they've lived to meet this moment. And now they're at that moment, and their whole comeuppance, people, it wasn't alone, right? They didn't do it alone, but they've recognized who were the givers and who were the takers, right? And so they can spot a taker immediately. Or even the reciprocators, right? Adam Grant has written a really great book called Give and Take, and studied the psychology of giving. And the people that create the most success in this life, they give with boundaries. They give to people that they know are going to give back. They give to other givers. Those are the people that are at the top. The people at the bottom, they give to takers. And then everybody else is mixed in between. The this for thaters, there's reciprocated givers. I'll give you this if you give me that. They're in the middle. But people who really change the world, they give to givers. They don't give to takers. And so what Ken said is, hey, if you show up and give to people that are a little bit further down the road, they're going to recognize you're wanting something for them, not from them. And that is incredibly powerful, because how many people, and we're all guilty of it, we've all given to takers, right? Every one of us on this call have given to takers, and we give without boundaries. But when you give intention without expectations to the right audience, you are going to have that monumental growth, and doors are going to open up for you. And I think that that's a really big, important key to point out.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I just encourage you. Any questions, guys? Can we do a little Q&A, Matt?
Yeah, hit him up with some questions. This master here.
Got any questions?
This guy's like best friends with every person that inspires the world. And I love that about you, man. You put yourself in the room and you're making a difference in all their lives too. So who's got questions for Ken out there? If anybody's got any, put them down in that chat.
Yeah, if you got questions, guys, just go ahead and put them in chat. I'll pull you up on stage here, and you guys could ask Ken yourself or Matt, Eric, who has a question for these guys.
I think why that's happening, I think one of the, the underlying, reason we're all coming together is because we recognize how important it is to create these opportunities for connection, right? It's rare that somebody of influence is going to show up in your community and ask for you and then that this, there's a TV, camera crew following you around and that's not going to happen for many of us, right? But what can happen is how can we strategically create opportunities for connection for people that are further down the road, as Ken mentioned, right? How do we find ourselves in those rooms? And I think Ken's talked about that. He, is very intentional about his time, about his talent and his treasures. But if you go back 3 years, he doesn't have, I don't know how many people showed up at your event, Ken?
This year, about 350.
350 people don't show up at an event just because you run an event. Right. I mean, they show up in events.
No, they do not.
Right.
No, they do not.
Right.
Right. It's not the Field of Dreams. If they build it, they will come. That's not how this works.
No.
It is
No.
a strategic investment of resources, of time, talent, and treasures, which Ken has done. How many events have you, I mean, were you big into events before you started running them? Tell me a little bit about that.
I've done 6 live events now in the last 3 years, but my first event, guys, I did, Todd Voling, Todd was there. You know, Todd's been in my community since day one. Todd was there. I think there were 27 of us in Nashville. And then I think that was in November of 2020. And then January of 2021, I did an event back in Nashville again. I think we had 33 people. And then June of 2021, I did an event in Scottsdale, Arizona with Sharon Lecter and Carlos Reyes and Anthony Trucks and Greg Reed and Jeff Finster, my buddy who's a CEO of Everbowl, top 40 under 40 CEO. We had 54, 55. And then from there, we went right into, October, I did another one in Vegas with Brad Lee, about the same, about 50 people, 50, 55. And then we jumped right into Create in January. We had 176 people last year, and we were just under 350 this year. So we almost doubled this year from where we were at last year. But it's hard, man. It's people think you can do events and people are just going to show up. No, you better get your ass on the phone. And call people and call people.
GC's got hundreds of people full time just doing that stuff, you know, to get these events going on. So for sure. And I think he said he spent $11 million on this last 10X event, and you know, he didn't make a penny out of that.
Yeah.
But
when did you stop doubting about your way of doing things in the giving mentality? 100%. Is it Mary Glenn? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, let's bring him up, Jacob. He's got a great story.
Victoria.
I gave my life to Christ in August of 93. I was 25 years old, never been to church, didn't know anything about nothing. I had such an unbelievable transformation experience. God just literally changed my life. So the forgiveness component for me is very easy. I don't have a problem forgiving people because I understand what I've been forgiven of, number one. Number two, how can I not live a life of generosity when God was that generous to me and gave his son for me? Like, it's the generosity component is super easy as well, because I don't own any of it. I steward it. And so are there moments where you're like, you know, you give and somebody takes advantage? Yes. My best friend, Nate, that I told you works for Vic and he worked for John Maxwell forever. And Nate always says, he goes, dude, you always lead with your heart. And I'm like, and it will cost you sometimes. It will cost you. But dude, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change the way I do it for not leading with my heart. I don't know how to do it anyway without, but I wouldn't do it any other way. You're going to get burned sometimes, but that's okay, because you learn really, really quick who's in it for you and who's in it for themselves. And then you just move on down the road, and you just kind of circle the wagons with your guys or your girls that love you for you. And you keep making a difference and an impact.
I love it. Mary Glenn, does that answer the question? Do you want to follow up with that at all?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for well pronouncing my name. So it is the exact pronunciation, Mary Glenn. The question was exactly that, because in reality, you see a lot of egoism, like a lot of people doing things, taking advantage of you or taking advantage of the situations. And when you are like doing the opposite, which is like trying to give and trying like to put your ego secondary, it seems like you are wrong.
Well, I would say this: when you live that life, you're going to have opportunity for people to take advantage of you. But let me tell you what you do is you start attracting the right people. You start attracting guys like Matt Smith. You start attracting guys like me. So that phone call I told you guys with Vic Keller, I don't think I finished the story. I found a rabbit trail somewhere. It was supposed to be 15 minutes. It went an hour and 27. The last 10 minutes of that call, Vic asked me 6 times, dude, what can I do for you? How can I help you? And I said, dude, I don't need anything. He goes, no. How can I help you? What can I do for you? I love what you're doing. I love your heart. I love your passion. How can I help you? I said, Vic, I don't need anything. The 6th time he asked me again, he said, dude, what can I do for you? And I said, okay, let me tell you something. Here's what you can do for me. I said, this was in August. I said, November the 1st, I've got my next mastermind in Scottsdale, Arizona. Come hang out with me for 3 days. There's guys I want you to meet that you need to know, because of what he's about to launch in the kind of the business development space. And I said, you're going to need to know some of the guys that I know. And he goes, I tell you what, I'll give you one day. I'll fly down and give you one day. I said, perfect. Just come down. That's all I need from you. And he flew in Monday, October the 31st, because it was Halloween. It was a Monday night. And we started on Tuesday. He flew in on Monday. He flew from Omaha, Nebraska. Does anybody want to guess who lives in Omaha, Nebraska that he had dinner with on Sunday afternoon? That'd be
Buffett.
Warren Buffett. He had dinner with Warren. He was the CEO for Berkshire Hathaway Automotives for 3 years, $11 billion a year company. When he took it over, it was $7 billion a year. He took it to $11 billion. And then he finished out his contract with Warren, and they're still close. And he made everybody in my mastermind in Scottsdale turn their cameras off, and he made my videographers turn their cameras off. Because I'm going to tell you what I've learned from Warren in the past 6 to 7 years, but we can't videotape any of this. And it was one of the most unbelievable conversations or moments I've ever had. It was, and he not only wound up staying all 3.5 days, but he hasn't missed a mastermind since. And he hasn't missed, he was one of my main keynotes at Create. And so we're doing we're doing it in January. Now we're going to do another one in July, because I knew we needed to do more because it was that awesome. Vic goes, come to Dallas where I live. Let's do another one in Dallas. And so he'll be a keynote when I do it in Dallas. He's there. And it all started with, he wanted to, I'm like, dude, I don't need anything from you, man. I don't, he's a billionaire, like legitimately a relationship or an investment or whatever could change my life. And I'm like, dude, I don't need anything. I said, just show up. And he shows up, and it changed his life. He was like, Ken, I've never been in any, and I'm talking about a room, the table he sat at, I had about 3 or 4 guys that have exited companies for over 200 million. And here's a guy who exited for 8 billion. You want to talk about a damn power table. That table was freaking loaded with guys. It was funny. Vic Pena, you know Vic and Tanya Pena, right? Matt, Vic and Tanya, dear friends of mine. They were at that table. I remember Vic coming to me. He goes, bro, I feel like I'm poor sitting at this table with these guys. I'm like, you are. Like, you are at that table. But they all love God. They're amazing human beings. They're just amazing human beings. So anyway, I will jump up. Victoria.
Hi, we're in Lincoln, Nebraska. Can you hear me okay?
I spent some time in Bellevue at Offutt when I was in the Air Force.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I have a little bit of an introduction because Tara was on the call before, and she's 14. So she speaks in front of senators, and they give her thank you for, supporting my bill. She's, like I said, 14. And I asked her when she was speaking in front of a school board meeting one time when she was, I think, 10. And she said, and this is my gift for you guys. I do have a question, but this is my gift, is she described leadership as being the head bird in the V formation. And she's out there waiting for the next bird to take over. And I thought that was a brilliant definition of leadership.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that.
So my question for you is, we have a couple of projects. For me, I've been a writer for a long time, and it just seems like I have a great idea. I question it. I've done the Tony Robbins walk on the fire, done that. And I don't have anything to show for it except a lot of papers, a lot of screenplays, a lot of book ideas. What would you say to me to, I'm raising this daughter, and she's blowing things out of the water. She has a book that she's going to be releasing chapter by chapter. Yeah. So we have these ideas, but you can't live off of ideas.
I would say this. Number one, give yourself a little grace. You're raising what sounds like an amazing teenager. That in and of itself, somebody asked me today on a podcast, they said, kid, what's your greatest accomplishment? I said, I got four daughters that love Jesus. and they're all amazing 27, 23, 19, and 14-year-olds. Like they're amazing. They're amazing young women and adult women. Like that's my number one thing. I would say number two, find some people that have done, that do what you do. Find who's a screenwriter, you know, who's somebody that just in the last 5 years have been working for 15, 20 years and they couldn't get it. And all of a sudden they had a breakthrough. Like call them on the phone, offer to buy them lunch. Like you said, you're in Lincoln, Nebraska. I don't know who would be in Lincoln or Omaha or Kansas City is a couple out. Find somebody. It may even be a Zoom now that we've got Zoom. Find somebody that has done what you're doing. There's got to be some kind of a group or a community that's doing what you're doing where you can learn shortcuts. Like what they're doing, you can learn shortcuts so you don't have to make the same mistakes or go through the same things. That would be my number one. Who's doing what you want to do and it doesn't have to be like, you know, John Gresham, you know, level or, you know, the whoever wrote all the Hobbit and those, it just be who's at the next level. Like who's 3 or 4 steps ahead of me that I can connect with, I can build a relationship with, that I can learn from. Because anybody that's been places that has a really good heart, like Matt does, they want to help people. They want to help people. That's what they want to do. So that I would say that. Does that help you?
It does. And it's similar to the strategy that I've been giving my daughter of how to write, because I said, okay, well, this is a really simple strategy. Look at the book that you most love and read that and then do your writing. So that strategy of seeing, well, what has someone else done? Tony Robbins really talks about. It was like, how do I kick myself in the butt to do what I'm supposed to be doing?
Well, a lot of times it's crazy because I hired a really good friend of mine to come in and help me with my finances a while back. It cost me $5,000 for her to come in for 2 days. And all the stuff she was telling me to do, I'm like, I know that's exactly what I would have told my clients to do. This is what she told me. And you might want to write this down. Her name's Kedma. Kedma Ough. It's Kedma. She's a dear friend of mine in my mastermind, part of everything that we do. She's got a couple bestsellers. She was the SBA's National Employee Person of the Year 3 years in a row. This is what she said. She said, Ken, even the most skilled heart surgeon doesn't operate on himself. Even the most skilled heart surgeon has to have another skilled heart surgeon to do open heart surgery on him. She goes, you couldn't see it because it's your heart. I was like, that's good stuff. So does that help? I've got about 5 minutes and I've got to jump onto my call. Can we get one more in? Florian?
We'll unmute him.
Jacob. There you go.
Oh, hi Ken. Hi Matt. How you guys doing? Hey, I'm up here in Colorado Springs. Actually, it's been
Colorado.
Yeah. Been a long time follower. I actually watched you guys' Undercover Billionaire and took a ton of notes regarding that episode. Nice. And of course, I'm now going back to watch the first season. But now, I don't know if you guys are aware. You know, there's been recent issues financially going on, and you know, I support a lot of local businesses and nonprofits up here in Colorado Springs. But I know, you know, the financial situation the country is going to go on here in the next couple of weeks and months are you know, looking at dire straits. So I guess from a purpose of giving, what can I do to help out to give more? You know, I do run a media company, and we have a radio station at our beck and call that basically reaches as far north as Denver and as far south as Colorado City, you know, past Pueblo. So anything, if you guys have people there in Pueblo or anything else, I would more than happy to help out any which way I can. But I guess that's my question is, you know, we're looking at dire financial economic straits here in the next couple of weeks, months, next 2 years, really. What are your thoughts on that? And I guess how to prepare?
Well, I would say this, number one, you know, is it going to be dire? We've already had 3 or 4 banks collapse.
Yeah.
One of the banks that collapsed, the first one, the SVB or SVP in Silicon
Valley.
was like just rated like in the last 6 months, the 5th healthiest bank in America.
Yeah.
So I would say this, listen, every time we have an 08, 07, 08, I was a mortgage broker back then. I lost $2.8 million. I mean, it cost me everything. I had 14 properties and $2.8 million worth of net worth. And it just, I mean, everything died. I would say this, that I think a lot of it's mindset. You know, those moments are always the biggest wealth transfers ever. It'll be the biggest wealth transfer ever again this time. I think you just have to find out, like, who are the people that have the money? Where are they putting their money? What are they doing? My pastor said this. I heard him say this 15 years ago. He said, when opportunity knocks, it's too late to prepare. So what are you doing to prepare? Like, what are you doing because I'm telling you, because I was just about to pull the trigger on building a house here in Birmingham. And I had a buddy of mine, he goes, dude, just wait. Because it's, you know, I don't know that the same thing's not going to happen that it did 07, 08. I was a mortgage broker back then, because that was all loan deals and 3-1 interest only arms and neg am and all that shit that sent everything sideways. So I don't know that we'll have that again. It's not going to be like it was then. That was terrible. You know, I don't think you're going to see the foreclosures and stuff, but I would just say, listen, don't be a doomsdayer. Like, don't be like, nobody wants to hear negative shit all the time. Like, how do you prepare? Yeah. And then I'm telling you, if you can meet people's needs and you can solve problems, you're going to make more money now than you've ever made before. I did $500,000 in revenue in January. I've got 300 grand sitting right here on this board right now that we'll bring in the next month. Like, the money's out. It's still, listen, when they printed I heard Grant say this, when they printed 1.8 trillion, remember back during COVID, and they started giving everybody checks. So there's actually 1.8 trillion more dollars in circulation in America than there was before they printed that. So it's not like there's less. There's more money right now than there's ever been before. You just got to figure out how to go get it. So this help you guys?
I love it. Let's go, baby.
I love you, man.
I love you to death. Yeah, you need to come down to Undercover Billionaire Bootcamp too. You need to come down to Little Pueblo, Colorado, and meet us. But
I'm coming. I think it's Friday. Thursday or Friday. I'm coming. Yep,
you're gonna be there. But hey, you know, Florian, I mean, one point I would make on that as well is I think this is those times that we entrepreneurs build good habits. So many people get lackadaisical when it is easy money. This is when the going gets tough. The best entrepreneurs are going to keep rising. And then when it comes back, those are the ones that are going to thrive. And like we got 2 stores in Colorado Springs. We just opened Castle Rock. We're opening Parker right now. We got so many things that we don't have an opportunity to say, the sky is falling, we're backing out. Like, oh my God, like only thing we can do is win right now. And we have to work harder for that win. Yep. But if you build those good habits now and work harder now, when the economy comes back, it's going to be the most beautiful thing you've ever done, because you built for that. You were never lazy and just making money and not doing stuff. You know what I mean? So I'm excited.
When Tony Robbins,
we're going to win.
Matt, when we were at Brent's event in August, Tony Robbins talked about real estate.
Yeah.
And he goes, you know, we're not in a down market. We're in an average market. If you've been in real estate, you've been shooting fish in a barrel for 2 or 3 years. Like, anybody can make 100K.
Exactly.
But what you forgot was what real estate really looked like 5 years ago. Like, you actually had to do some work, and now you're just gonna have to do some work. And if you can outwork everybody and outservice everybody and put relationships ahead of transactions, people are going to want to do business with you. And just like Matt said, when this thing turns, man, you better get some buckets, because you won't be able to hold all the revenue that you can bring in your business.
Absolutely. And the people that aren't going to work that hard, unfortunately, might not make it through, but it's the people that are willing to, 100%. So I love that. Hey, I mean, as we close, man, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are one of my favorite humans. You are changing the world daily. We're excited to have you here. We're going to do some ice baths together here in Pueblo, some breathing. We're going to have some fun, baby. This is going to be a good time. But if y'all haven't gotten your tickets, there is some specials going on right now. Again, it is a limited group. This is one of the only events you will see a speaker on stage and be able to get some one-on-one time with those speakers throughout the 2-day, 3-day, 2.5-day event. Dinners, all that. VIP right now is going at a discounted rate, and undercoverbillionairebootcamp.com. There is some speakers that we're not even talking about right now, but Ken Joslin, I am blessed and honored to know you, man, and I appreciate you coming in today.
Love you, buddy. I can't wait. I'll see you guys whenever we do another one of these.
Love you, man. ET, you're muted. Sorry, you can't even say anything. They just keep muting us around here, man. But love you, Ken. Hey, everybody else.
There you go. Appreciate you, Ken.
ET, thank you, my friend. Tell Jen I said, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. Love you, man. Talk soon.
Yeah, I think, real quick on Florian's point, as we wrap this up, and obviously Matt just hit, obviously, extended an offer. What's I think important to remember is we went 0 to 5.5 during COVID, right? So we ran a game plan with an aggressive ground game. We knocked on doors, we shook some trees, and the market responded, right? So attitude, effort, execution is critical. I think that one of the things when you really boil down Grant and what he's done in the past and what he's built, it's come back around to investing in yourself first. He's like, hey, you got $3,000-$4,000. You might as well set that money on fire. First thing he did on Undercover Billionaire is $100. This means nothing. It's not going to do anything for me. He needed proximity to people, other people's money, and he needed proximity to other people's ideas and their community, right? So that's really what we're creating here at Undercover Billionaire Bootcamp, or as Jacob's rebranded it. Tell me again, hit me and tell us what the premier ticket is.
Wake Up Mastermind. I don't know what he calls it. I'm calling it Wake Up Your Health, Wake Up Your Wealth, Wake Up Your Family, Wake Up Your Spirituality. It's Wake Up Pueblo. Let's go.
It's not rebranded at all. As you can see right here, Wake Up Undercover Billionaire Bootcamp.
That's all. And
there you go.
To Eric's point, keep in mind, we built it 0 to 5.5 in 42 days in the heart of COVID when everything was shut down. We outworked people around us. So come down. This will be an amazing event. We'd love to have you all here. And there'll be more of these. We're going to do these every week with other guests dropping some heat. We got Sage next week.
No, yeah, guys. So we got Michael Unbroken next week.
No idea what's going on.
Yeah, we're going to be doing this every week leading up to the boot camp to get you guys ready for the Undercover Billionaire Bootcamp. So you guys want to make sure that you guys attend all these things. Grab your tickets. I'm giving specials on this. So only you guys, for being part of this webinar, our premier tickets that are usually $1,300, they're for sale for $997 just for you guys. You got to go to the link that I got in the chat here and use the code undercover to get your discount. So that's only for you guys for showing up. You guys counted on yourself and you guys showed up. And next week we're going to be doing it again with different speakers, giving those sneak peek previews just like Ken did today. And it's going to be a nice, good 6 weeks here of growth.
Nice. Jacob, hey, $997 for the premier ticket. Does that include lunch and breakout sessions?
It does. It includes all day access, 2 days, and then it includes lunches, every lunch, and then obviously our boot camp workshop sessions. That's where you get the real, tangible walk-away items that you could walk away with and go take to your business the next day. So the premier ticket is honestly my favorite ticket. That's why I give it the discount. It's all-encompassing for sure.
Nice. I love it. And that's, those smaller groups, obviously it's going to be a small intimate setting, somewhere between 120 and 150 people in the oldest building in Pueblo, Colorado. Plenty of opportunities for connections, plenty of opportunities for, cultivating a community that can support your next play. There's going to be plenty of people that are further down the road than you are that you can invest in and take and deploy the same strategy that Ken has used to, become at the front row and build a squad that he has. So Jacob, good stuff, man. Great guest. Thank you for pulling this together and carving out time, making this happen. There was a lot of brilliance dropped today. So thank you. Thank you very much for that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to sell out of tickets. If you want to come, show up. It's going to be epic. Last time we ended up on Richard Branson's island with the aftermarket thing with 16 people. So just saying, get your tickets. Wake up. See you guys next week. Let's go.
Bye, guys. Thanks for showing up.